A very good morning to all of you and welcome to the session, the Hindu Editorial Analysis for Proficiency in English. As usual, let us start with the snippets. The very first one over here, Telangana rejects Adani's 100 crore aid. Here there is one word, aid means what? Help. Sambal violence toll rises to 4. We have already got this many a time. The number rises, we have got so many times. I am sure our students know the difference between a rise and a raise. Good morning to all of you. Exactly. March to Islamabad. Supporters call for Imran Khan's release. Former Prime Minister. Constitution makers making room for feminist ideology. Making room for means making space for. Usually what happens, imagine in many exams you have given, there is no space in this compartment. Better expression, there is no room in this compartment. Room means space. So making room for feminist ideology. The legacy of founding mothers has been brushed over. Here we have present perfect and passive voice. The founding mothers, mothers plural noun, ending in the letter S. We should use the apostrophe after the letter S. That you have to recollect. And what is this feminism, feminist ideology? In 1960s, in the US it started, later it spread to Europe. Many women started protesting that time. They gave the slogans, men and women are equal, they should have equal rights. That is known as feminist movement. And today also the ideology is there, feminist ideology. Ding outwits Gukesh in opening game, means better played better in a better manner. Trinamool streamlines the party organization. There is one important word here, streamlines. It goes with you people. Streamline means to organize. While preparing for competitive exams, you have to streamline your efforts. What does it mean? You have to organize your efforts. That is very important. You cannot go in a zigzag manner. An important word for you guys. Sena cite means what? Quote. Bihar model, seek CM post for Shinde. Seek, search for, look for. We have got this many a time. You're all known as job seekers. What are you looking for? What are you searching for? A job. So, there is no room in the compartment. Very good. Let us go to the next one. BJP Kerala chief faces heat over Palakkad fiasco. There is an important word here, fiasco. Fiasco is an important word in various competitive exams they have given many a time. Fiasco means utter failure, complete failure. When you try for something, it fails completely, then we say it was a fiasco. Means what? It was a complete failure. An important word you have to remember. And 3 Uzbeks held in UAE for killing of Rabi. Not simple words. We have a nice pic over here. Perth Kings. It is about the first test against Australia. Joy unbound means no limits. India captain Jasprit Bumrah celebrates with teammates after the massive 295-run win over Australia on Monday gave it a 1-0 lead in the 5-match series. You can easily make out a joyful moment, no boundaries, not limited, unbound. After climate talks, nations gather to iron out a treaty to curb plastics. There is one important idiom and also one word, but many of you know that. Iron out the differences. What do you understand? It means to resolve, to remove the differences or to remove the problems. Here, iron out a treaty means come to an understanding, a treaty. To do what? To curb use of plastics. Curb means to restrict. Restrict use of plastics. Amid chaos over Adani Row, both houses adjourned. One word, second word, third word, And fourth word. That is the best part. When you read the headlines also, there's so much to learn. And if you wonder what is the difference between learning from the headlines, learning from the editorial, headlines give you a chance of getting exposed to a variety of contexts, and you get a chance to learn different types of words based on different contexts. On the other hand, it is like extensive approach. On the other hand, if you take the editorial, it is intensive. One particular topic, you go deep into it, and you learn all the related lexical terms or word combinations, effective English. So it's an ideal combination, complementary to each other. First one, amid. You have to recollect another word. I'm going to explain all. What is the other word? Amidst. What is the difference between the two? A smart student may say spelling is different, but both mean the same. And what do they mean? In the middle of, amid, amidst, in the middle of. In the middle of chaos. Chaos we have got many a time. What does it mean? A chaotic situation. Complete confusion, we use the word chaos. Amid, in the middle of chaos, over Adani row. Here row means a dispute. Row has many meanings. People form a row, that is one meaning. Here row means a dispute, an argument, a fight. Any of these you can say. Adjourn means temporarily postpone. Temporarily postponed. Adjourn. The meeting has been adjourned. The court has been adjourned. That's a legal term actually, but we can use in other contexts as well. One headline, so many words to learn, and all important words, mind you guys. What do we have here? Today it is Constitution Day. And when we talk about the Constitution, our Constitution, India is known as, when you talk in terms of polity, it is known as QUASI, federal. It is not quasi-federal. Quasi-federal means, it means partly unitary, partly federal. It is neither completely unitary nor completely federal. We have the center list, we have the states list, and based on that, Indian Constitution is known as quasi-federal. And today is a Constitutional Day. Based on that, and when you open the Constitution, like introduction, we have the preamble. In the preamble, it is stated very clearly, India is a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic. And two words are very important here. One is, I'm going to explain, please wait for some time. I'm doing in a systematic way. Who is that? Ajamu, please wait. I'm doing in a systematic way, one after the other. Secular, socialist, an inalienable part of the Constitution to stay in preamble orders Supreme Court. First one, secular. When you read the preamble, you know India is a secular country. Then if you wonder what does it mean, secular country means India does not have any official religion. We respect all religions. Then we use the word secular. But today the word has become quite popular in the sense it has come into the limelight, because in the past almost all the parties, secular parties, but today we have two distinct parties. One has a label, a secular party, a tag, secular party. The other one, it has a tag, a religious party. That way it has come to the limelight. So that is the first one. Socialist. Traditionally, if you look at the entire world, we have three types of three worlds, the first world, the second world, the third world. India is a third world country. The first world, industrially developed capitalist countries. They are known as right-wing capitalist countries in a way. And the second world, industrially developed communist countries, left-wing. And India is a socialist country. It is neither capitalist nor communist. It's like mid-path. We have the public sector undertakings, we have the private sector undertakings. Based on that, it is called socialist. So secular socialists are an inalienable. Alienate means to get isolated, alienated. If you take tribal people today, many tribal groups are not part of the mainstream Indian culture. So we say tribal alienation, it's a major problem. And inalienable means they cannot be separated. They are part and parcel of the Constitution. They cannot be separated from the preamble. That's what it means. Have you got the meaning now? Who is that? Ajamu. So, inalienable means they cannot be separated. They are part of the Constitution. In a way, something is part of my personality. Then I say, it is my second nature. There is one important idiom, second nature, means part of one's personality. And all these words are very important. That's all from the headlines. What time is it? 12 past. Got it? Very good. Let us go to the editorial. Today's editorial is about what? Important, not important, you will come to know soon. But before I go to the editorial analysis, what are the benefits if you watch the video, if you watch till the end? You improve your reading comprehension skill, you improve your contextual awareness, and these two are the deciding factors when it comes to clearing your mains or getting the job. And the third one, and this also, they go hand in hand, they're inseparable. Vocabulary, effective vocabulary. In bank exams as well as SSC also, same words you come across in the exam. Besides, you're going to consolidate your grammar knowledge, you're going to work on mini mocks based on exam topics, effective English, revision, vocabulary consolidation. Let us start with editorial vocabulary. The very first word, rhetoric. Rhetoric, part of speech, noun. Yesterday someone requested, sir, please show the part of speech also. I have been telling the part consolidate means to strengthen, to make it strong. You learn a lot while preparing for competitive exams and not easy to remember. It is not one subject, you have to learn many subjects and every day you have to learn and you are bombarded with a lot of information. So how to remember, how to consolidate means how to strengthen only one way, that is revision. You have to revise regularly. Otherwise, you cannot consolidate. So rhetoric, part of speech, noun, meaning the art of using language effectively and persuasively. This is a key word. Sometimes used to refer to insincere or exaggerated language. This goes with public speaking. What is it goes with the politicians. When the politicians want to make an impact on the public, they try to use a nice language, they try to persuade the masses, and that time they use a rhetoric. Intentionally, it is used to persuade the crowds or the masses in favor of a particular party. It goes with written English, it also goes with conversational or spoken, but usually it goes with public speaking. The art of using language effectively and persuasively, sometimes used to refer to insincere, more than insincere, exaggerated language. Exaggeration, a lot of exaggeration to persuade the masses. Look at the example. As I said, it goes with politicians. The politician's speech was filled with empty rhetoric that lacked actionable solutions. Only the talk, no substance. Synonyms, oratory, an important word, eloquence, an important word, bombast, verbosity. All these words you have to remember, important from the exam point of view. Antonyms, plain speech, silence, straightforwardness. But of these three, I would rather say plain speech is very close to antonym of rhetoric. Important word they have given many a time. Perilous. Peril means a danger. Perilous, dangerous, obviously. Part of speech, adjective. Meaning, full of danger or risk. The hikers embarked on a perilous journey through the mountains. Here we have a word, hikers. You have to recollect two words. One is hiking. And what is the other word? Trekking. What is the difference between hiking and trekking? If you take a long walk in lowland areas, that is known as hiking. And if you take a walk in the mountain region, that is known as trekking. And there is one more expression you guys have to know. I have given many a time. What is it? Hitchhiking. Have you heard of this any time? Please respond. Have you heard of hitchhiking? Hitchhiking means in the US, weekends, usually there's a saying, they work Monday to Saturday, Monday to Friday like bulls, and Saturday, Sunday they freak out. They go on a long journey. And youngsters, usually what they do, when they want to travel long distance, they have to hit the highway. On the highway, the trucks, usually trucks use the highway, you all know that. They stop the truck drivers asking for lift like this, and they keep changing. They travel long distance. That is known as hitchhiking. Initially, it was very popular. Later, because of the truck drivers, some of them are very dangerous. Today, hitchhiking is not a good thing, a bit dangerous. In the US, not in our country. In our country, it is not quite popular. Youngsters asking for lift, exactly. The hikers embarked on. Embark means to start a journey, embark on a voyage, embark on a venture, embark on a trip, start something. Perilous journey, dangerous journey through the mountains. Synonyms: dangerous, risky, hazardous, treacherous. These two words are important words. Antonyms: safe, secure, risk-free, harmless. Simple words. Today you are trying for a bank job or a government job. What is the reason? One of the reasons, government job is always secure once you get the job. Voyage means to sail long distance. Sail means travel by ship. Sailing long distance, voyage. Olden days very popular. Now it is not that popular. People don't do that. But in the past, that was the only way to travel. Before the advent of aeroplanes, how would they travel long distances from one country to another country or one continent to another continent? Voyages, long journeys, sailing. Entangle, part of speech verb. To involve someone in difficulties or complicated circumstances, to cause to become twisted together. Usually it goes with something gets entangled in a net. And the example also deals with fishermen. The fisherman's net became entangled in the rocks beneath the water. Usually fish get entangled in the net, but here fisherman's net got entangled in the rocks beneath the water. There is one important word. Idiomatic expression, rock bottom, and it takes a verb, hit. Have you heard of this any time? Hit the rock bottom. Sometimes what happens, imagine there's a person has been trying for success, has written many exams, but unfortunately could not clear. At some point his confidence may go down. It may touch the rock bottom. Hit the rock bottom or touch the rock bottom. What does it mean? Going to the lowest level. Touching the lowest level. Lowest level, rock bottom. That is very dangerous. That you should not allow that to happen. One should always remain optimistic. What are the synonyms? Involve, ensnare, an important word. Intertwine, important word. Involve complicates simple words. Untangle, disentangle, simplify, release. But tangle, entangle, untangle, disentangle, easy to remember. Impending, an important word. We got in the past, we haven't got in the recent past. And impending, impede, impediment, impending, part of speech adjective, meaning about to happen or occur soon, often used with a sense of urgency or anxiety. Something is going to happen, certain to happen, then we use impending. There's another word, imminent. I think they've given, it is here. And these two words go with a disaster, a calamity, a catastrophe, something that is bad. And war also. War is imminent. Cyclone is imminent, impending cyclone, impending war, about to happen or occur soon, often used with a sense of urgency or anxiety. Example, the villagers prepared for the impending storm, as I said, cyclone also you can say, by securing their homes. They try to protect their homes because of the impending storm, impending cyclone, impending hurricane. Imminent, forthcoming, approaching, looming. All these words have given many a time. Looming, loom large. Antonyms, distant, remote, postponed, delayed. Simple words. That's all about the editorial vocabulary or effective vocabulary. Now let us go to the editorial and see what is there to learn. How does it start? What is the stimulus? A return to action on moving ahead after Baku. A return to action on moving ahead. Something positive, back to action and moving ahead. Both positive expressions, but related to what? I always tell students, any article that goes with Indian economy, world economy, very important, likely to get as a passage in the exam. Same way, any editorial that deals with environment, any dimension of environment, very important. They have given many a time. And you may get as a passage, prelims or mains, and also they may ask a question in descriptive English or at the time of the interview also, chances are very bright. Written back wrong, yes, you are right. What is the main idea? The world must move beyond empty rhetoric on climate change. The world must move. Here we have a model or helping verb. What are the functions of the helping verb? Must. It has two functions. What is the first one? It is used to express a personal obligation, or it is used to express an obligation imposed by the speaker or the writer. In this context, a writer. And what is the second function of must? It is used to convey the idea that something is compulsory. But here it goes with the first function. A writer's view, obligation imposed by the writer. The world must move beyond empty rhetoric. A rhetoric, persuasive speech, empty rhetoric, futile, sheer waste of time. On what? Empty rhetoric on what? Climate change. Yes. Let us see how it starts and how it goes about. After 2 extra nights of extended negotiations in Baku, countries finally gave up on bridging their differences and settled on a roadmap that has left nearly all developing countries frustrated, developed nations relieved, and the planet still on a perilous path. Wonderful sentence. In one sentence, the writer has conveyed positive, negative, and the future. Beautifully worded sentence. After 2 extra nights of extended negotiations in Baku, countries finally gave up. I have given this many a time. Tell me what is the meaning of the phrasal verb gave up, give up. Give up means stop trying, exactly. Gave up what? On bridging their differences. Again, nice words have been used. Bridging the differences means filling the gaps or removing the differences. Failed, gave up on bridging their differences and settled on a roadmap. You're all preparing for competitive exams. You have to have a blueprint or a roadmap how to achieve success, how to get the job. For that, the very first step is you have to streamline your efforts. Second step, you have to depend on reliable sources. Third one, you have to use mnemonics. Answer my question, what is the meaning of the word mnemonics? I have just used. The first letter is silent. Mnemonics means what? Anyone can answer. Mnemonics means what? While preparing for competitive exams, you have to use mnemonics. That is one example. Very good. Ajamu, I appreciate that. But mnemonics means memory techniques using what? Memory techniques. Because while preparing for competitive exams, you got to remember a lot. And without using memory techniques, it is practically impossible, an uphill task or a daunting task Not at all easy. Always streamline your efforts and also try to use mnemonics. That will fetch you the job within no time. You can save a lot of time. And you should, first and foremost, you should have a roadmap, the strategy, the plan to achieve the goal or your ambition. We also use the expression blueprint. What is it? Blueprint. And settled on a roadmap that has left. They could not give up their differences and they had to settle on a roadmap. And what is a roadmap? It touches the developing countries, it touches the developed countries, it touches the planet Earth, the future of the planet Earth. That has left present perfect active voice. Nearly all developing countries are frustrated. Frustrated means what? Annoyed, agitated, disturbed, unhappy with the present situation. Someone tries for a job, has been trying for quite some time, but hasn't been quite successful, then the chances are very bright for the person to get frustrated. I'm sure you all know this. Developing countries frustrated, developed nations relieved, means some sort of relaxation, rather happy. And what is the fate of the planet? And the planet still on a perilous path. Planet still on a dangerous path. There is one important word over here, still. You have to recollect two words. One is still, and what is the other one? Yet. What is the difference between these two words as adverbs? Still goes with affirmative and interrogative sentences. We are still in the same house. Are you still there? Affirmative, interrogative. And yet goes with negative and negative interrogative sentences. For example, the train hasn't come yet. Haven't you posted the letter yet? First one negative, the next one negative interrogative. This is very important. They have given many a time. Unfortunately, who has taken the brunt, who had to bear the brunt of it? The planet Earth. Bear the brunt of the negotiations, the planet Earth. It has to travel, take the perilous path, dangerous path. Let us go to the next one. Officially, the COP presidency may claim progress. Obviously, after any meeting, any summit, no leader, no communique will say we have failed. They will release a communique, means a press release after a particular meeting or conference or summit. And the communique presents a positive picture, obviously, a rosy picture. The text, which was passed early in the morning, included a commitment to triple public finance. Triple public finance. Last time also I did a few editorials. The developed nations promised 100 billion US dollars. Now they wanted to, they have promised a tripling that. That means 300 billion US dollars. So what exactly the text says, the communique, included a commitment to triple public finance for developing countries, raising the goal from 100 billion annually to 300 billion US dollars by 2035, based on this triple public finance. In addition, countries are pledged to work to scale finance from public and private sources to 1.3 trillion per year by 2035. One more dimension. In addition to that, you can also use the word besides here. Countries are pledged to work to scale finance from public and private sources to 1.3 trillion per year by 2035. In the world of international negotiations, all this the summit talks about international negotiations between developed countries and developing countries. Based on that, this expression. In the world of international negotiations, it is common for countries to bring maximalist demands. It is common to demand or request a lot, maximalist. Today we have two terms, minimalist, maximalist. If you take the Western culture, there are two words you have to learn. One is Occidental. Have you heard of this? Occidental culture means Western culture. And what is our culture called? Oriental culture. Occidental, this is C, Occidental, Oriental. Occidental culture, Western culture, purely based on materialistic lifestyle. On the other hand, Oriental culture is based on spiritualism, spiritualistic. So these Western countries, people of Western countries, initially they believed in maximalist approach. 2 cars, 3 cars, 5 cars, 2 buildings, 3 houses, 4 houses. Now, minimalist approach has become very popular over there. Quite contrary, they want to minimize everything. They want to cut down on the expenses. They want to live a simple life. This is an important word you have to. You may get a passage. It is common for countries to bring maximalist demands, asking for the most optimistic outcomes, only to settle for these being scaled back. Usually, what it means, they may ask for $500 billion. That is maximalist approach. But they can ask, there is no limit as such. But in reality, they are scaled back. Means what? They are being scaled back. Ultimately or eventually, they may get only $200 billion or 100. It comes down, obviously. However, in this case, the gap between what was demanded and agreed upon is striking. The $300 billion figure represents just 20% of the original demand. See, they demanded, imagine 100, but they got the 20% of that. They got only 20, nowhere near the demanded percentage. However, based on that, the writer says the gap between what was demanded and agreed upon is striking. The gap is striking, means a lot of contrast. 20, where is 20%, where is 100%? The $300 billion figure represents just 20% of the original demand. While 300 billion a year is no small sum, it is not a small amount, substantial amount, other meaningful concessions would have made its impact far greater. We don't know what exactly other meaningful concessions are, but had they considered, it would have made a greater impact, the writer feels. And to substantiate this statement, the writer gives us one example. What exactly? See, usually what happens, writers make statements, and to substantiate means to prove or to justify, the writer has to give us some examples, facts and figures, and they start with, for instance, for example, to justify or substantiate. For example, if the funds were predominantly public finance, mainly public finance, facilitating the affordable transfer of technology from developed to developing countries, or supporting investments in infrastructure that could help vulnerable populations in the global south adapt to climate change. Writer tells us they should have focused on something like public finance, predominantly public finance, facilitating. What is the advantage of predominantly public finance? It will facilitate the affordable transfer of technology from developed to developing countries. Today, it is all about climate change, impact of climate change. And the entire world is talking about renewable sources of energy. When it comes to renewable sources of energy, there are two issues. One, technology transfer, the know-how. Developed countries have that, developing countries don't have. So they have to transfer the technology. And that is the first issue. What is the second issue? To make a transition from non-renewable sources of energy like fossil fuels to renewable sources of energy, a lot of money is required. That is the second dimension. Both the dimensions the writer has touched. Affordable transfer of technology from developed to developing countries, or supporting investments in infrastructure that could help vulnerable populations in the global south adapt to climate change. Unfortunately, none was included. Unfortunately, none of these was included. And none is an important word. Tell me, why is it important? Which part of speech is it? First you answer that question. Which part of speech is the word none? None is indefinite pronoun. Definite means specific, indefinite not specific. Like none, one, everyone, someone, no one, somebody, nobody, everybody. They come under indefinite pronouns. And none usually takes a plural verb, But if there is a phrase like none of these understood in the context, it takes a singular verb. That's why none was considered. What does the second part say? Despite decades of scientific progress in developed countries that have rigorously outlined the threat posed by rising carbon emissions, these nations have repeatedly backtracked on their responsibility to support meaningful climate solutions. The West, what has it done? If you take the developed countries, what have they done? They have rigorously outlined the threat posed by rising carbon emissions. There they have done the homework well, but these nations have repeatedly backtracked, means went back on their responsibility, went back on their commitment to support meaningful climate solutions. Moreover, many have failed, present perfect active voice. Moreover, you can also say furthermore. Moreover, many have failed to discourage developing countries from pursuing fossil fuel based development. It is not that easy. Developed countries cannot discourage developing countries to give up on fossil fuels. Before they say that, they have to do two things. One, they have to go in for technology transfer. Second, they have to fund, otherwise not possible. Developing countries will depend on fossil fuels. This shift is likely a reflection of broader geopolitical changes, such as a decline of the globalized world order. Decline means what? Going down. Today there is no global order. Decline of the globalized world order and a reduction in public support and political will in the West. Public support is not there. They don't want to change their lifestyles. I have already done one editorial. Western people don't want to change their lifestyle. They got used to a particular lifestyle. They don't want to sacrifice that. No public support and political will means determination in the West. As a result, what is the impact of that? As a result, climate action has increasingly been framed within the logic of market competition rather than global solidarity. It has taken a commercial dimension, not based on global solidarity. Means what? Unity. The recent COP talks revealed that, disclosed that, made public that climate negotiations are now entangled with trade conflicts. The same idea is being market competition, economic dimension, and trade conflicts, global solidarity. There is a conflict entangled in this web, in this net. On the one hand, commercial interest, on the other hand, climate, global solidarity got entangled over there. In this year's talks, wordplay and political posturing often took precedence over meaningful action. They did not focus more on action, they focused more on verbosity or rhetoric. It is possible that next year there will be a repeat of the drama surrounding the US withdrawal from the Paris Agreement, especially with the impending return of a Trump presidency. This may get repeated. What is the reason? We all know Trump has become the US president. Last time also he pulled out of the Paris Agreement and is not in favor of all these things. Same drama may repeat. How does it end? Next year's COP in Brazil will be a symbolic return to the country. It all started in Brazil. Based on that, will be a symbolic return to the country that hosted the 1992 Earth Summit, where the world first recognized that action, not just talk, was needed to tackle global challenges. 1992 in Brazil, for the first time, the entire world realized action is required, not the talk. As the climate crisis grows more urgent, it is time for the world to revisit that commitment and move beyond empty promises to real transformative action. Main idea is being reiterated. It starts with the rhetoric. Now, rhetoric is of no use. Empty talk is of no use. If the promises should be real, transformative action is required. It ends on that particular note. What they have to do. A word of caution from the editorial. Now, let us go to comprehension questions. What is the primary criticism of the COP negotiations in Baku? What is the primary criticism? They focus too much on scientific data. They failed to meet the demands of developing nations. Hold this one. They excluded developed countries. No. They ignored the role of technology transfer in climate action. But the main primary, the word is what? Primary. B. They failed to meet the demands of developing nations. Very good. I appreciate that. According to the passage, what would have enhanced the impact of the 300 billion commitment? Enhance means improve. I am not audible. Check your settings. Please check your settings. If I am not audible, not one student, all the students will comment the same. Only one student means problem is at your end, not at my end. Please check your settings. What is the answer for the second one? Have you answered? Enhance the impact of the 300 billion commitment. Reducing the target timeline to 2030, ensuring funds of private investments, focusing on public finance and technology transfer. Should have focused on these two. Very good. Please mention the... I know, one student says there is a problem, it is his problem or her problem, not at my end. Which of the following is an implicit concern raised in the article? Two important words when it comes to comprehension skill: explicit, implicit. Explicit means what? Mentioned in the passage, anyone can answer. All that you have to do, navigate, locate, and you get the answer. Implicit means implied, indirect. For that you got to be a little intelligent, read the essay between the lines and grasp the writer's views. Only then you can answer. Let's see if you can answer. I'll wait for your response. What is the answer for the third question? Implicit concern raised in the article. Developing countries are not taking enough responsibility for climate action. The next COP may face setbacks due to US political changes. The financial goals set are overly ambitious. The global south should reduce its dependence on international support. The article talks about the return of the US president. Based on that, B is the answer. The next COP may face setbacks due to US political changes. Trump becoming the US president could be a setback. What historical event does the article suggest should inspire future climate action? Way back in 1992, there was something like historical event in Brazil. So which one is that? It is not this one, not this one. The year is 1992. And the name of that summit, the Earth Summit 1992, historic event. Which phrase best describes the tone of the article? It cannot be optimistic because it talks about, in a way, accusing the developed countries not rising to the occasion, and neutral and analytical, critical and cautionary, because the writer says, developed countries are happy, developing countries frustrated, planet Earth on a perilous path. Based on that, critical and cautionary, a word of caution. Answer is C. Very good. I appreciate those students who have chosen C as the answer. Let us go to exam topics based questions. First one, fillers. Select the most appropriate word to fill in the blank. The BJP managed to various religious, caste and regional sentiments to secure a dominant position in Maharashtra. So what is the word that can? Please mention the question number. Managed to. Yesterday's editorial talks about the positive dimension of the BJP. How could it achieve that landslide victory? You cannot think of a negative word. Undermine means weaken, alienate, to make someone isolated. To mobilize, by mobilizing, manage to mobilize all these so it could get thumping majority. Select the most appropriate word to fill in the blank. Welfare schemes, particularly doles for women, played a key role in the Mahayuti's electoral success. Easy, should not be that difficult. One student responds, then I will give the answer. At least one student has to respond. Very good, Shreya. Answer is not extensive doles, not monetary doles, not ample. Ample means a lot. They have clearly mentioned the combination, cash doles for women. Answer is C. Double fillers. The BJP strategy too, its Hindutva platform, while also incorporating Maratha, has paid rich dividends in Maharashtra. To propagate Maratha relevance, not correct. Maratha supremacy can be considered, pride can be considered, language can be considered. Now you have to look at the first one. Strategy to amplify its Hindutva platform seems okay. Undermine cannot use a negative word. Reinforce. Reinforce means strengthening. Amplify means to take to a higher level. But in the editorial, it talks about Maratha language, or I suppose, or Maratha pride. It talks about Maratha pride, invoking great leaders like Shivaji and Savarkar. Answer should be the, where is this? Second option. Yes, Maratha pride. That is true. Let us go to the next one. Word usage. Below are 4 sentences using the word decimating. Choose the one that is contextually and grammatically correct. Decimate means what? Destroy, devastate, damage on a large scale. 4 sentences, only in one sentence it has been used properly. Which one is that? The opposition accused the ruling party of decimating its promises after coming to power. The party's landslide victory resulted in decimating its opposition. Decimating through strategic alliances, the BJP secured dominance. Hold this one. The BJP strategy of religious and regional mobilization led to decimating its rivals. Decimating its rivals, those are the words you have to consider. Very good. Answer is D. Yes. Who is this? Uday Kumar has got it right. Only Uday has got it right. Next one. In the following question, a sentence is divided into 4 parts. One of these parts may contain an error. Select the part with the error or choose E if there is no error. The sentence is here. The marginal gains made by the Congress in the general election was not indicative of any substantive turn in politics, and the party is at a loss yet again. A lengthy sentence or a short sentence, it doesn't matter. You have to read meticulously and know for sure what the subject is, what the verb is. What is the subject here? The marginal gains. This is a key word. Made by the Congress in the general election. You have to put the phrases in brackets. Now ask yourself, will you say gains was or gains were? There we have the error. Subject, verb, related. Agreement. Very good. Next one. Odd one out. Identify the statement that does not align with the ideas presented in the editorial. This is a bit challenging because I did the editorial yesterday and based on that today the questions. But still give it a try. Odd one out. The BJP successfully mobilized caste and regional sentiments to secure victory. Not odd. Uddhav Thackeray was rewarded by the voters. The editorial says Uddhav Thackeray was punished by the voters because he joined hands with the Congress and Sharad Pawar's faction. Welfare schemes targeting women contributed. True. Maharashtra's politics is now dominated by the BJP's overarching Hindutva platform. True. So what is the answer? Odd one is B. Very good. Para jumble. We have 4 parts. Try to get all the 4 parts correct. It is based on a broad, you have to have an idea about the broad framework or the line of thought and also systematic presentation. Here 3 sentences go with the BJP, One sentence goes with the Congress. But who came to power? The BJP. So obviously we have to start with the BJP. Here, the BJP strategy combined Hindutva with regional and caste pride. Hold this one. The party secured nearly 50% of the vote share, decimating its opponents. It should be fourth one first. And how could it achieve that? Third one. Also, second one. Then here we have. So 4-3-2. Where is this? 4-3. That is okay. 1. What is 1 here? No. It should be. Let us start with. First one is what? The BJP strategy talks broadly about the strategy. Combine Hindutva with regional and caste pride. What is the result of that? The party. No, we cannot use. I think one more is missing. 3-4-1-2. 3-4-2-1. No, correct order is 3-4-2-1. What is the reason? Here all these talk about the BJP and one talks about the Congress. 3-4-2-1. Very good. Warrior has got it right. 3-4-2-1, not 1-2. We cannot separate the whatever goes with the BJP party. Synonyms, the word closest in meaning. The BJP's victory in Maharashtra has decisively transformed the dynamics of the alliance. Transform means what? These are easy. Yes, 3-4-2-1. Very good. I have already confirmed that. Warrior, you got it right. It is not preserved, intensified, overshadowed. Transformed means changed. Change means altered. An easy one. Antonym. Identify the word opposite in meaning. Maharashtra's politics has yielded to the BJP's overarching Hindutva platform. Means succumbed, opposite they want. Submitted, same. Succumbed, same. Followed, same. So what is opposite? Resisted. Not the synonym, antonym. Resisted. Yes, C is the answer. That's all for today. I hope you guys have got enriched and we have got a few important words. After the session, we'll upload the PDF. Join the Telegram group. And always remember, some words are easy, some words are difficult. Try to spend time after the session on difficult words, and that particular habit will help in the long run. Have a nice day. Thank you very much.